G'day guys, Josh here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Welcome to another State of Economy Lost Ark. I don't know why I always look left, because I know my OBS is here, but I always check if it's on or not. I don't know why, but anyway. I'm gonna say I completely forgot to actually talk about this because I saw the artist patch, okay, I saw the Gold Nerf, and I completely forgot to talk about it. Okay, so basically with the Gold Nerf, you guys are, well, I think most of the people are pretty aware at this stage, because if you do a raid a week, you may have noticed that your gold has gone absolutely crap, okay? Especially if you're 1445, where like I say, most people park their alts. I don't think many people went to the 1460 mark because it does cost a lot of gold to go there in the first place. But let's go for the good news first. Okay, the good news is that you no longer need gold to hone to 1445, which is a great change because a lot of people, early on, struggle between getting gold, or it's either gold or honing basically, and it was a really annoying decision. No one ran into issues with silver or anything like that, and that became their main issue. Later on, silver becomes the issue, which is the most frustrating part. But gold was the massive issue sometimes, whether you hone or not. I know a lot of people who quit this game about 4 or 5 months ago. Gold was their biggest concern, okay? Gold was a massive concern because they wanted to contribute to the guild, but at the same time they knew that they needed it for honing too. So it was a gatekeeping mechanic in some way of shape or form. Hence, gold getting rid of on honing to 1445 is a great change. However, they've had to nerf gold on the other end as well because gold generating machines basically is needed for your main to hone basically as well. And this is the downside of it. So the downside is what they've done is that basically all the abyss dungeons have had their gold nerfed. So basically array normal is now only 250G for the entire no, sorry, not 250G for the entire dungeon, 500G for the entire dungeon. Hard mode is now 700 for the entire dungeon. Now, Argos is now 1000 for the entire dungeon. Just to remind you of what they were previously, normal used to be 900 for the normal, so 900 for both dungeons. Hard used to be 2.1k for both dungeons, and Argos used to be 2.7k for both dungeons. So it's a massive gold nerf, over 100%, not over 100% gold nerf, but it's basically almost like 33% of where they were previously. Now, also, there's some extra gold nerfs as well with Voltan, Vicus, and Voltan hard mode. So basically, it's targeting a lot of people at 1445, and that's the reason to the honing changes. Otherwise, people would just be honing to 1445 for basically free gold at this point. So Voltan normal got nerfed to 1.2k gold, hence why the buses have just dropped off the face of the earth, okay? Vicus normal got nerfed to 1.6k gold overall. Now, with Vicus, you used to get, I believe, 3.3k gold, and with normal Voltan, you used to get 3.3k gold as well. They're the biggest gold farmers. Like I gotta say right now, you could just basically cycle 5 ults just doing Voltan Vicus every week with random pugs and just have good 3x3s, and that's pretty much all you needed because the fights weren't too difficult, and you would be able to do them relatively easily and get, like, basically a lot of gold. Last but not least, with Voltan hard mode, they reduced it from, I believe it was 4.5k, and it's dropped to 3k. So Voltan hard mode is still pretty decent. It's only 1/3 of a nerf. But all the other raids is a massive nerf, okay? And they're trying to combat gold inflation from raids, which I gotta say probably not is the biggest deal, given the fact that a lot of RMT is not generated from raids. But then again, you see a lot of RMT working out through raids, but I don't think that's where they get the gold from. And this probably resulted in a lot of different prices falling, which is great news to everyone. That, a lot of things are falling in price. But anyways, let's just get on to the main concept here. You may notice that I'm doing this on a Friday. That's because I got casting on today. Then on Saturday, I've got Diablo 4. And Sunday, I've got Diablo 4. So I'm just getting these out the way a bit earlier, if you guys are wondering. So we're gonna check all these things out at the moment. So basically, Abyss Dungeon's pretty much dead at this stage. Pretty much just only people doing card runs. Also, it's a Friday, and a lot of people at work, so you won't find too many people here. Next up, we're going to go to Argos. As you can see here, a few Argos bosses. They're barely, just above people trying to do a few things. Overall, it's just card runs at this stage. I think that's a good thing. With Voltan, as you can see here, bosses have gone down dramatically. 2k for hard mode. It's a good deal for some people as well. But still, some people are still doing it because hard mode still gets 3k, which is decent gold. So some people may just do, it'll be like, I don't need 1k gold from Argos, probably not worth my time, but I'll do the 3k for Voltan because it's worth it. Now, Vicus as well, a lot of Vicus hard modes, okay? The reason why is that normal just doesn't really provide the bacon anymore. And like I say, a lot of Vickers busters as well coming in here as well, because Vickers hard mode still gives 4.5k gold, which is tons. Cackle Sidon as well, a lot of people still doing it. There's also an AFK, semi-AFK bust still as well, 15k. A lot of people trying to generate the gold that they used to have via other methods now, by, you know, upping the buses. Now you can see here 6k bust for Belshazzar. A lot of buses for Belshazzar actually as well, which is really, really awesome to see. That, you know, that basically, even though I said Cackle Sidon may not be bosses, but geez, a lot of bosses for Belshazzar. I think this time around they might be legitimate, but I'm not too sure, because sometimes people offer bosses for new content to scam your money. But either way, it's good to see that the, you know, even with the recent gold nerfs, that's good to see that it's still around basically as well. Like, you know, the bosses and stuff like that. I guess they obviously, of course, Argos and Abyss dungeons, stuff like that, probably going to die down. I think at this stage, all people want with it is just the gear, and that's it. And then it's going to go sayonara, bye, see you later. Which I gotta say could impact newer players as well, given the fact that they may not have Argos groups to run. Basically, like they're waiting for Argos groups to improve their gear, because it gets to a point where you can't improve your gear further. Anyways, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the Mario store, see how that's going at the moment. I gotta say, with the gold nerf, you know, it explains why the blue crystal price went backwards, but I feel like it's still gonna bounce back. But no, it's gone even further backwards as well. It's gone down to 3k at the moment as well. And I guess this could be just the norm. Like, you know, it's going to slide back down as people don't generate as much gold. The people on the top end, you know, there's not enough sellers. There's not enough, what I'm trying to say here, not many people are buying because they can't afford it. So it's naturally going to scale back down, where it's going to be a lot of people wanting gold on a real crystal price, and a lot less people wanting blue crystals basically as well. And also at the other end as well, you could actually explain it the wrong way. There's more people wanting gold and less people wanting blue crystals. So it's going to slide from being like, you know, 5k in royal crystals, because there's a lot less demanding gold, and more people with more gold getting blue crystals, you know, they'll accept buying it at 5k because they're generating so much money. Now it's on the opposite, where a lot more people want more gold because they want to buy more blue crystals, hence they're selling gold for real life money, and then the blue crystal markets go down. So in the end, even this off period where everything's just going hunky-dory and crazy, eventually the people who are selling gold to get, you know, blue crystals are going to be back to just buying blue crystals with their gold. So if you're selling gold at the moment with real life money, you eventually get at a point where you don't have to do that, and you can just buy gold via blue crystals still, if you're at the top end. You get what I mean about this? Like, I know I explained it the wrong way, but the volatility is going to stop eventually. Like, the prices will drop down to an amount where you can purchase with gold. Because it's going to get to that point, because more people are selling gold, and there's going to be a midpoint. I'm not sure where the midpoint's going to be, and pretty much that's where your blue crystal price is going to stay. But it's very good to see that it's at 3k. It's dropping, which is good to see. Next up, we're going to check the AH. So the first thing we're going to check the AH is obviously, actually we're going to check the fishies, because, you know, we want to check the fishies out as well to check out how the fishing's going at the moment. Now the fish has dropped to 27, Array Relics 44, and Fic Meat 65. Obviously this is all to make these basically as well. So that's good to see. Now, another complaint from the gold selling as well, which we'll get into the honing mats as well very, very quickly. It has been obviously the Araya support mats as well. That's need to build for it. Sorry, and the fusion materials. Destructions, like I say, always going to be 1G. I don't see these going up anytime soon. Protection stones at 2G as well. That's good to see. That's rolling back to 1G eventually. I feel like it's going to be destruction stones. They're always going to be super expensive. Everything else that's a guardian and protection side is going to eventually slide to 1G, because everyone will upgrade the armor quick enough, and it won't be a real issue. Crystallized destruction stones at 4G, harmony at 2G. I gotta say, these tier 1 and tier 2 leap stones are just going to go backwards and backwards and backwards as more Hyper Express events come out, and at this stage people can just launch their way to the next tier, because everything's 100% in this tier, and have to spend a lot less gold. Now, on a leap stones at 12G, given that the honing mats have been greatly reduced, and you can get a lot of honor leap stones fairly easily, and I'm not terribly surprised to see this. Basic array of fusion materials at 15, and simple at 6. I guess simple is probably a dead market at this point. If you got alts you want to buy it with, go for it. Basics, I gotta say, have gone up substantially. Could be time to sell. Like, you know, if you got basics and you don't need any honing, it's probably time to sell. Support mats have gone down greatly as well, given the fact that the honing rates have increased. in the lower tiers, so the support mats aren't as useful because you might get a chance to hone. It's not used for pity ranks anymore. Obliteration stones are always going to be quite high because upgrading the weapon is the most hardest, as you need more materials in general and need more gold. Superior array of fusion materials have dropped down a bit as well. They're a bit cheap because generally they're 30 gold. They're a bit cheap at the moment, so 29G you could pile in, but at the same time it's just like, it's at true value, at par value for the last few weeks, as you can see here at 30G. Greater honor leap stones are 33G as well. Like I say, leap stones have taken a big dumpster, as you can see here. Basically, marvelous honor leap stones at 50, greater honor leap stones at 36. This has been obviously because of the honing nerf as well. So all these leap stones have just basically taken a sharp back. And also as well, like with the marvelous leap stone, it can't be worth more than 5 times the greater honor leap stone, because otherwise it wouldn't work that way as well. Now, solar blessings and solar protections are just slamming down. Not many people are using them anymore. Okay, solar protection is going to be below 100G probably until next week, I'm going to say right now. 100G, below it. So you see some pouches here as well. That is a gold seller, I assume, with the counter fusion materials. I don't think anyone's going to buy it. They'll just go to the character and stronghold it. If anyone's doing this to newer players and like trying to gatekeep them around counter fusion materials, I would say right now stop it, because it's not healthy for the game. So whoever's this dickhead who's got 150G, probably just hold it back. You're just being a greedy POS. Now, this is very interesting as well with the tier 2 mats. Someone's trying to make a market out of them as well. Like life shard pouches for a green pouch is 252, which is a lot higher than a blue pouch. And hardy shard pouches are definitely losing their touch. I mean, another one here, like where a purple one is worth less than a life shard blue, which is, I'm not saying it's going to be crazy, but I'm just going to say it's, out there. Now, as you can see here, life shard pouches are now way outpassing honor shard pouches. I mean, I think the honor shard pouch selling time was way back when you needed less of them, basically. So, a bit unfortunate for the people who saved up like me. But at the same time, sometimes time in the market is everything, and not to get too greedy. Sometimes you got to offload some when you feel like the price is high. And yeah, pretty much the relic books are coming back down as expected. I mean, everyone gets their honing mats up. Now everyone does give you more sellers and less buyers. So yeah, that's the first end of it. And the gold inflation prices slowly but surely making a bit of a dent. Next up, we're going to go to consumables. So consumables, we're going to go to potions first. So first things first, elemental potions, 33G. Probably, of course, still buy at this stage. Like a lot of these things are still buy. They're fairly cheap. Bombs, pheromone bombs have got up a bit as well. Probably a sell for pheromone bombs, but everything else is probably a buy at this stage until new content comes out. Mainly for the fact that it's going to be relatively cheap. Grenades, still a buy. I'm going to say anything under 50G is still a buy, even with the gold inflation being nerfed, it's still a buy. And last but not least, we get the food. And like I say, tier 3 food was like 700G. I'd say 400G is pretty much a buy as well. So you definitely can buy those up. They're pretty cheap at the moment. So it's a buyer's market, mostly in the consumables market still. Next up, we're going to go into engravings. Engravings, I'm going to say, I'm not terribly surprised that it's all the purple matte ones that are cheap. But I see here, the green mats are starting to go up in price, you can see here as well. And that's due to the fact that the engraving support, which auto ranks to rank 3, which means the other ones that you don't have, and the lack of books means that the green ones are going to be a bit more expensive, especially for artists as well, but that doesn't seem true at the moment as well. But you can see here, a lot of the class ones, and I think I saw one combat one as well. Actually, yeah, to be fair, you don't buy Vital Point anyway, but you can see a lot of the combat ones here, a lot of the class ones are the expensive ones. Next up, we're getting up to the blues, and this is where it's going to go a bit crazy, because I feel like the blues are going to be quite expensive as well. It's mainly because there's not many people doing that content anymore. And a lot of the popular ones people already have. So just putting it up there, but the class ones, some of the class ones that people don't already have are going to be super expensive. I mean, EH, you're going to say there's lack of dead eyes. So that's going to be super expensive. Now, the purples are going to be always cheap. Like, purples are going to be always like, 1 or 2 quick gold. The high combat ones and class ones are going to be a bit more expensive. But it's going to be rare that you're going to see any of these above this amount. And once again, enhanced weapon, I'm going to say, it's been ultra expensive for real no reason. Next up's the legendaries. Actually, this is the crazy part. Seeing some legendaries, to be fair, they're not that great ones at 1G. Surprised me back in the day. Like, some of those would have gone for like 15G or so. Now, I can see here, like, a lot of the top class ones are now being ridiculously cheap. I mean, EH at 86G for a legendary is kind of insane. And I guess people just don't play Deadeyes anymore, given the fact both of the engravings are ridiculously cheap in the legendary. But I can see here a lot of the not popular classes, or a lot of the not popular engravings are stupidly cheap now in the legendary. And I gotta say, for a long time, these are going to be buys. Okay, you can even wait if you want to wait to buy, you can do so, because these are going to keep dropping because people aren't going to buy them because they don't have the gold to do so. And you can see here, like, the most expensive ones is Grudge, Cursed Doll at 90k. Obviously, don't buy Cursed Doll, by the way. Like, you want to wait for it to get back to 2.6k. But if you're gonna buy orange engravings, you can, if you want to wait, you can. It could go lower. I can say right now it's still deep in a buy range. Like, definitely deep in a buy range for a lot of these engravings, because these will go up. Like, people will get, like, after this gold nerf, people will get to that area and where they can grind gold again. They'll eventually, head up to those areas when they feel like it's profitable to do so. By getting to Vicus hard mode basically as well. And they'll just basically print out gold as per usual. So a lot of these will be basically buys. And then when people can print out gold, these engravings are going to go back up again. Because, why don't go back up again? Because people have the gold to purchase these, basically. So inflation is, like, even though the inflation stops for the moment, it's eventually going to creep back up again once people get up to that area. So that's why you got to just be careful of. Now, pets and skins, like, this will get very little love, given the fact that they've nerfed gold. Pets and skins will get very little love at the moment. Generally, during these inflation issues, not inflation issues, but when they try to stop inflation, a lot of people stop purchasing skins and stuff that they don't need. So you can see here, like, there's a lot of skins that have no liquidity. And that's purely because of it. Next up is pets. This is going to be the same issue as well. Is that people aren't going to purchase pets and skins too much. I guess pets are slightly more liquid, but they're not going to purchase them too much purely because of the fact. So I got to check my phone for 2 seconds. Oh, wait. Okay, all good. But pretty much they're not gonna buy pets and skins purely for the fact that, they need the gold for themselves. They feel like the market, could be tanking, something like that, so they're gonna keep their gold close to their chest. So that's another behavior you gotta be aware of as well. Now, the gem market. Now look at the gem market here. As you can see, the gem chests have increased slightly actually for tier 3, 100 to 160. Now we're gonna check obviously the gem market to see if that's had a bit of an impact as well, because the gems went up. So we're gonna get to tier 3, and we're gonna go to recent prices as well, because you can have some of these BS gems here that can be high priced, but you want to see the ones that sold. Okay, so you can see a level 8 gem sold for 1k, and whoever got that, it's an absolute steal at this stage. Like, I don't even care what it is. The fact that someone bought it at 1k is a steal. But we're seeing some being sold below 10k. So as I said before, I think I said this previously, the gem prices are going down purely because of the fact that a lot of people have level 7 gems now, and they're just selling the extras they have on the market. So you can see here that, that is the case. I mean, we saw the end page as well, that the level 9 gems are selling for 130k at the moment, and 129. That's on the high end, okay? On the low end, I could say there could be a lot less. You can see here, a lot less in this area. See, 100k. Now let's get to relics, and I'm going to say I expect this price to drop down as well. Someone got one for 23k, man. That's a steal. That is an absolute steal, but lower than 200k, not entirely unexpected that's going to break the 200k mark. Now, the DPS ones, I can say the DPS ones have gone down dramatically. Remember when I said the DPS ones are usually 3 times the cooldown ones? Now they're only 2 times. I mean, look at this. Some of these DPS gems basically selling for very little, which is, I gotta say, pretty good to see, I suppose. Next up, we're going to get to the accessories. Now, the accessories, if you guys are unaware at the moment, accessories are a big area where people gold sell. So if it's not obvious enough for some areas, like a lot of people gold sell here. So we're just going to skip through most of it because a lot of this is gold selling until we get to, let's say, 100k. We'll check a few, let's see. Nah. I'm gonna say the recent Gold Nerf, you want to just go through and just be like, ignore half the bullshit in there. And you want to go to, like, I'll probably say below 100k, because this is all gold ceiling range. This is also gold ceiling range as well, as you notice. Like, you may notice, like, quickly right away, but there's some gold ceiling ranges, and also some legitimate ones here as well. Okay, you can see here, these feel pretty legitimate. So 98k to get, good engravings, basically, as well. So I feel like, if you want to get good engravings, like best of slot engravings, like, basically below 100k is your dime. Just basically scroll below 100k. There is going to be some gold farming ones in here, okay? Some people get 95k, and that's pretty much it. You can see here, you can see a lot of them where, like, this one is obviously, this one's obviously gold farming, okay? Gold selling. But you can see other ones as well where they're not gold selling, they're actually legitimately good. And you can see here, you can get some really, really good shit for very, very cheap these days. I mean, I think even getting to the low 80s and stuff like that, you can see there's a lot of good ones. Of course, there's a lot of gold selling as well, but you can get very good accessories. I think it's at this stage is that a lot of people of hardcore end players have got the best accessories, so they're just putting the shit ones on the market for newer players to pick up. But the problem is that there's so many of these accessories that everyone's undercutting each other. So that's basically what's occurring at the moment. Next up, we're going to go to the bracelets. Bracelets are going to be the same old story. There's actually some gold selling going on the bracelets as well. Okay, this is ridiculous. Now you can see here, Swiftness and Spec is still the best, and Crit and Spec as well. 30k is probably, going to be the high end for it. Obviously, you can see that stuff is creeping in. I guess say at this stage, I think a lot of people got the best of slot bracelets, because I've seen so many Spec and Swiftness on the market that I think at this stage, I think everyone's got it. Ability stones, yes, there is still gold selling, okay? Not as much, but there's a lot of gold selling. If any of them above, like I say right now, if any of them above 1.2k, they're just gold selling, okay? And as per usual, it's still the same stuff. I mean, I think the accessory market, the gem market, and the ability stone and the bracelet markets are never really going to change. They're just going to get cheaper over time as more people get loot. And the biggest issue that Lost Ark has is getting newer players to the scene. And that's what's occurring here. As you can see clearly that every of the gear prices are dropping because everyone's getting the BIS on the upper end, but there's no one in the lower end coming in. Therefore, basically, you are selling it into a smaller market. And it's going to get to a point where it's going to be very hard to sell accessories and ability stones and bracelets because nobody needs them. And a lot of people will not grind for the top 0.0001%. You may notice if you've ever played Diablo 3 that a lot of people get their gear sets, and when they're trying to get to the ancient gear set, which is a 0.11% chance, they stop playing because they've already got the best slot gear. And you'd be like, yeah, that's kind of true. I'm like, yeah. Like, for example, for me, like, let's take a look at my character. I forget the icons for this game. I've got my best engravings, My quality gear is very low, okay? But it's only increasing me by, like, 0.1%. So I don't need it, as per se. Like, that's the same with the ability stone as well. Like, if I get a 9.7, that's a huge upgrade. Okay, 9.7 is like BIS, basically. But it's not as great, okay? Like, it's not as great. I don't need that. I'm doing all the content I need to do fine with the quality of the gears that I have. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys have a good one. And I know the gold nerf must suck. I'm just going to say at the same time, Lost Ark's biggest criticism was that it didn't respect people's time. It consumed a lot of it with 6 characters. It could possibly be the time that the reason why they're doing this is because a lot of people burn out. So they're reducing the gold on the back end, so you don't have like multiple ults at 1445 trying to grind stupid amounts of gold. They're trying to lower that inflation, and they know it's going to be a short-term pain for it. But on the other end is that everything will get cheaper, which means you can use that one character. And if you want to go for the extra mile to get the extra characters, do so. You feel free to do so. Someone's going to say it's delaying the inevitable because eventually those ults that you have are going to go up there and generate more gold as well. It pretty much is. Okay? And with the newer content, they have to do this nerf again and again and again and again to try and keep that inflation from going out of control. It's a never-ending, fight. But at the same time, it means that you don't have the incentive to, grind for like a 500 gold and ults and stuff like that or whatever it is. You can just do one Voltan and that's it. And be like, okay, you know what? I can play other games. So you can play Diablo 4 and other stuff like that. And other games, like for FPS shooters, if you're interested in them as well. I think that's a good thing. Because if you burn out on Lost Ark, they will not get your time again. Okay, you'll be going on to other games. You'll be like going, oh, Lost Ark, last time I played it, it takes 20 hours to do anything. If it takes, 2 hours or 3 hours and go to another game, I don't think you'll be, too concerned with it. I don't think it'll be a big of an issue. Anyways, guys, have a good one. See you guys later. Peace out. Bye.